5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thank you for your great service to the great state of Texas as a congressman and as a judge.
Yeah.
Mr. Attorney General, I want to ask you about a comment attributed to you and then a statement issued by the Department of Justice in a New York Times interview in December of 2011. You said there is a desire to, quote, get at you because you, quote, consistently take progressive stands. Shortly after that interview, the department issued a statement wherein it said your critics, and I'll quote, your critics rightly view you as a progressive force. The common theme in both of those statements is an apparent belief that you are targeted because you are, to use your term, progressive. So I want to be really clear with you, Mr. Attorney General. I'm not a critic of yours because you consider yourself to be progressive. I'm a critic because I don't think the Attorney General for the United States of America should have any political ideology whatsoever. You are the Attorney General for the entire country, regardless of your political ideology or anyone else's political ideology. You're the Attorney General for everyone. You're a former judge. You're a former U.S. attorney. You're currently the chief law enforcement official for the United States. I don't know what attracted you to the criminal justice system. I haven't had an opportunity to ask you. I can tell you that what attracted me to it was the notion of working solely for a woman who is blindfolded and carries nothing with her except a set of scales and a sword. No political ideology, no agenda, just a set of scales and a sword. And it's important to me that she doesn't care about anyone's station in life, and she doesn't care about their political ideology, and she doesn't care whether they're black, white, brown, progressive, conservative. It's just about the equal application of the law. And further in that interview with the New York Times, you singled out my colleague from South Carolina, Senator Graham, as someone who had good faith in his criticisms towards you. So my question, and then you suggested that others are motivated by something more nefarious. Bad faith, a desire to get at you, a desire to do damage to the president. So my question to you is this: do you think it's possible to be motivated by good faith and still ask who the senior most level officials within Main Justice were who knew about the tactic of gun walking prior to Brian Terry's death? Is it possible for me to ask that question and be motivated by good faith?
Sure. I would say that, let's ask, do you think John Ashcroft was a conservative?
I don't know Mr. Ashcroft. I tell you who I do know, Mr. Attorney General. I know the United States Attorney for the District of South Carolina. He was appointed by President Obama. He is every bit as progressive as you say you are, if not more so. And not only have I not been a critic of his, I have been one of his biggest fans, because you cannot tell what his political ideology is from the way he discharges his job. So I don't know John Ashcroft. I don't know you. I know Bill Nettles. I know the United States Attorney. And you can shake your head when I say that, but the truth is you're the one who said you were being targeted because you're progressive. And my point to you is, I would be asking the exact same questions about Fast and Furious, whether you were John Ashcroft, whether you were Dan Lundgren, whether you were Bob Goodlatte. I don't care about the political ideology of the U.S. Attorney or the Attorney General.
Well, all I would say is this: the decisions that I have made in connection with anything that I've done in the Justice Department don't reflect my political ideology. They reflect my view of the facts, the law, and what my responsibility is as Attorney General of the United States. Now,
well, then why did your department say that? Why did your department in December say that you were a target because you consistently take progressive stands? Do you think that's why I'm asking you about Fast and Furious, because of your political ideology?
I will accept that your question to me is one that is based in good faith. I'm not going to ignore reality and say that all of the attacks that have been directed at me have been those that are non-political in nature or that have come in good faith.
Can I be motivated by good faith?
Reality.
Can I be motivated by good faith and still believe that you ought to have to show an ID to vote in South Carolina, just like you do to have to enter the federal courthouse?
Absolutely. We can have a disagreement. You can operate in good faith and ask that question, as I can disagree with you in good faith and not have a political motivation behind my position. Well,
Mr. Attorney General, you have a difficult job. But if you think that you are being singled out because of political ideology or race or any other characteristic or factor when it comes to Fast and Furious, you are sorely mistaken. I would be asking the exact same questions regardless of what party was in power. And with that, I'll yield back, Mr.